What's up, guys? Coach Lou here from BJJ Dominance. Today I want to go over a quick thing, something that I battled in my life since maybe 25 years old, possibly, it's been 12 years now, sciatica pain, right? And I know it stems from herniations from my L4, L5, but I'm going to provide a photo so you guys see a reference point of what this is. The bottom of the spine obviously is like a column, like disc, right? And then you have your hips. And then the nerve endings, they branch out into each leg and they go various ways. The sciatica nerve is it's funny because when you look at it, it's actually very thick. It's wider than you think. And it travels out of the base of your spine, the bottom. It goes through your hip. But one of the things is it goes right underneath, or most likely, underneath your piriformis muscle. Now the piriformis is a muscle that goes on the outside of the butt cheek, towards the inside, across, in this type of fashion. Now, here's the thing. You have two reasons, in a sense, why sciatica pain happens. It's either the herniation, which most likely, for me, it most likely is, and then where I feel the pain specifically is right here. And it feels like somebody's digging knuckles right into my butt cheek, and it trickles down my leg, and I have like a pulse, right? So, previously, most people think like, oh, you need to roll it out, but think about it, something's inflamed, it's jacked up, right? So getting a lacrosse ball on that spot specifically is just inducing more compression on top of that, right? That's not it. And then people think, so we need to maybe use a wider surface or a foam roller, and you're still inducing compression or pressure on top of that spot. And that's why a lot of people with sciatica pain, especially if you feel it in your butt cheek, won't be sitting under the right side. Like for me, when it flares up, I won't be sitting on my right butt cheek. I also, training Jiu-Jitsu was super hard sometimes, right? I'm playing half guard, my knee up, or knee guard, however, and somebody's pressing in, and they're pressing into my hip, and my butt cheek's underneath me, and all that pressure's on my butt cheek. So most of the times I'm playing this way, for the most part, or I try to force to play this way when it acts up. But one of the things I found over time is what does help it is stretching the piriformis muscle. And it's a lot easier than you think. It just takes daily motion, daily practice. And this is what I've done to kind of, to alleviate the stress. And I'll do it specifically right before rolling, right before practice. So like I know I'll get a good 2 hours before I have to do it again. And one of the things, it's very simple, guys, to be honest. It's a 90-90 stretch, but it's very specific. So 90 here. It's very specific in the way that you need to operate. You don't want to just like hunch over, in a sense, right? That's not really it. The key is upright posture as best as you can. If you see me maybe from this angle, upright posture, keep upright, and then lean forward, right? And the further you get this leg out, the more anchoring point on the backside. And right there, I could feel some alleviation. And believe me when I say, what's amazing right now is I have less pulse in my toe right now. When mine starts to act up, I have a big heartbeat in my toe. And it affects my leg, it affects how much pressure I can put on my foot. But this position right here is stretching that piriformis muscle because I'm pinning the one side and I'm moving the spine, right? So the hip is staying pinned down and I'm moving the spine, which is moving that piriformis muscle, which is alleviating the tension, or like however you would say that, across that sciatica nerve. And sciatica nerve is something that's very thick, right? The width of it. So getting movement is the name of the game, all right? The name of the game is movement. It's not necessarily breaking it up and putting pressure on it to tell the nerves to calm down. And that's what you're doing when you put pressure on musculature, is you're breaking up the adhesions, which nerves drive muscles. So those muscles are talked to by nerves. And that's how kind of that works in a deeper sense. But this motion right here, guys, anybody battling sciatica pain, as long as if you have that pressure in the butt cheek like I do, this is the movement that you want to get into for yourself. And by all means, you can do both sides. Obviously, sciatica nerve braces, or rather splits in the bottom of the spine, and then it shoots out both ways. So you do want to get, and again, I was just rounding a little bit, you do want to get both sides a little bit, right? But this is Coach Lou here. This is something that I've been battling for a bit. As long as I can help you guys, I will, right? And hopefully that helps you guys. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up.